In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything that you thought you knew and what you don't know about Dragon's Den, one of the biggest entrepreneurial shows here in the UK on BBC One that I recently went on and got my pitch out on for Deliver Me, our on-demand delivery app.
I've got baby in arm. There's no way my family or friends can help. I can't put him while he's kicking and screaming into the car. It's just an impossible situation.
All right. This is not a therapy session, okay?
You're absolutely right, okay. I'll stop right there.
In this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything, the myths, what people keep asking me about the show, because you guys keep asking me the same questions, whether it's on social media, at my events, or when I'm just meeting up with old business connections. Everybody's super interested in Dragon's Den, so I thought, why not make a video and break everything down for you, step by step, how it works, so that all those questions, when I get asked them, I can just send them this link. First thing people think is, look, you're on Dragon's Den in like February 2022, but the first thing that people don't realize is we filmed that episode 6 months before actually appearing on TV, guys. So there's a lot of preparation, a lot of due diligence that takes place as well. So it takes a long time for them to actually get the final edit together before you actually get approved and presented on the show as well. So another thing that people don't know about the show is you're not actually guaranteed, just because you record the episode and you record the actual pitch in the studios with the Dragons, it doesn't guarantee that you're actually going to be shown on the end kind of program, which means up until probably a month and a half before, you start to get some kind of feedback where the producers are letting you know, we're quite confident that you will be on the show and that you are going to be presented and you're going to be seen. But before that, you literally have no idea whether or not you're actually going to be on the show, which is a bit unsettling because you don't know whether you can tell people about it, you can't tell people about it. It's all kind of up in the air, bit of uncertainty. But like I said, we did get on the show. So for those of you who've seen it, you might have seen that we had 7 minutes of airtime, thereabouts, 7 or 8 minutes. What people don't realize again is the pitch. Of course, if you're asking people for a significant investment, they're not going to be making those kind of decisions unless you're an absolute world beater like Elon Musk. In 7 or 8 minutes, you're literally up there, and we were up there, me and my co-director Zach, for 1.5 hours pitching Deliver Me. So when you see the actual end result and the end episode, where hopefully we can cut in some of that footage as well into this video, we're not just standing there for 7 or 8 minutes, not even 15 minutes. It's 1.5 hours of standing there in front of the Dragons, pitching away. And one of the funny parts about it is people think that it's kind of rehearsed as well. So we get a lot of questions about, is it rehearsed? Are the Dragons really interested, or are they just going off a script? Are there like directors and producers telling them exactly what to say? The answer to all those questions is no, absolutely not. It is 100% authentic. It is real. You step into that lift, and I'm letting you guys know at the end of this video if that lift is real or not. But you step into that lift, and as soon as those doors open, the only way I can describe it is what I imagine the doorway to heaven being like. It's like the doors to heaven open up, the lights are in your face, you've got your marker, and by this point you're super nervous. I know I was. But then as soon as you land on that point where you're supposed to be standing and you start the pitch, that's for me personally when I felt like all the nerves just kind of evaporated, and now you're just in a conversation in a way, and that's where I feel a lot more comfortable. I can speak to them, I can see them, I can answer their questions, and we knew our stuff and we know our product and we know our service. So if you are prepared, you're going to be successful and succeed. And preparing is everything when it comes to any kind of public speaking, or kind of even just social media public speaking as well. You need to know what you're going to talk about before you hop on those platforms. Anyway, back to the den. A couple of other questions that we get. Do you actually meet the Dragons before and after the show, or either? The answer is no. You don't meet the Dragons outside of the actual pitch. Now, people think that, you know, you might be able to network with them afterwards. Guys, what you got to remember is this is a studio, this is a paid for event, and the amount of cast and crew and makeup artists and producers and camera crew and sound engineers, everybody on that set is there being paid to be there. So it really is a super efficient, super lean model where they're not just filming one person and then having a little cup of tea and a little catch up. It's one after the other, pitch after pitch. And then that brings me to the next question, where then what happens before you actually get in the den? So there's a green room, and one of the things that really surprised me was you don't actually get a fixed time for when you're going out to pitch. So we were actually in this green room for about an hour and 10 minutes, and you've got no mobile phone because they don't want you documenting, uploading. Well, you've got your phone, but you don't, you know, you're not really permitted to use it because they don't want to have that kind of behind the scenes stuff going on. You've got no idea when you're coming out, so you're literally at any moment at the drop of, you're on like high alert, like you're literally like a rabbit in headlights on high alert, waiting for the opportunity to go out and present and perform. And because the pitches vary in length so much, you also don't know, even if they said you're going on after this, you don't know how long that's going to be. So again, in that idle time, your nerves start picking up, palms are getting sweaty, doubts start to creep in your mind. Do I know my pitch? You're going over it in your head. You know, it's a 2-minute pitch. And also your numbers, right? You're thinking, do I know my numbers? Do I remember those numbers? Because everyone knows their numbers until they know that they're going to be presented to like 3 million people, 4 million people watching them on this show, right? So a lot of pressure, but they came in and said, look, you're on next, get ready. And then of course you go through the whole sequence. And I remember one of the producers, he right before we went out, he asked me, and I'm like in my zone right now, right? I'm like literally zoned in, ready to pitch, ready to go get this money, pitch the Dragons. And right before we walked out, he asked me, how are you feeling? Are you nervous? And this guy wasn't the main producer at all. He was like, I don't even think he was a producer, he was just one of the crew. And I had to literally walk off, because I was like, absolutely not. And I know what his job was, is trying to keep you in conversation. And I think it just slipped out. He wasn't meant to say that. But he asked me, and I said to him straight away, look, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to rock. But then because of that little bit of doubt crept in my head again, and my anxiety kind of peaked. So then I had to start pacing. I'm backstage now, and I started pacing around just to keep my energy and momentum high. And that's a little technique that I think in sales, in presenting, in public speaking, movement can help your ideas start to flow as well. Mentally, you can help your ideas flow through doing stuff physically. The last question about Dragons Den that a lot of people ask really is, was it worth it? Okay, and for me, I can tell you right now, I'm super, super grateful even now to this day. BBC One, the producers, the Dragons, every single person who allowed us to get on the platform, which is a huge platform. 3 to 4 million people watch that show every single week. Like, this is not something to be taken for granted. And again, I just want to give thanks to every single one of them, because off the back of being on that show, we launched a crowdfunding campaign where we started raising pledges. Through some marketing, tactics and strategies, we leveraged that, and we got £2.5 million in investor pledges in 20 days, right? Which is a huge milestone. Of course, now we're going to be starting, we're collecting that money and we're just actually getting it through the door. But that kind of demand, I don't think and believe would have been possible without BBC One, Dragons Den, allowing us to get on the platform and show what we have built and where we want to take this business. So absolutely, positively, 100% worth it. If you ever get the chance, even if you're an established business owner, look, I got to speak about social agendas on there. I got to tell them the numbers. They all loved that credibility that I went in there with. I'm a successful business owner, I know that. But even with that, even being able to raise money privately, it's not all just about the money and the experience of the Dragons. It's those 3 to 4 million impressions that you can access if you're able to present and if they deem your idea worthy enough of the show and of the Dragons being invested in it. So definitely 100% recommend it, guys. If you ever get the chance to apply for Dragons Den, 100% one of the best experiences. And honestly, people think, oh, has your life changed? Life hasn't changed. We were doing a lot of amazing things before it. We're doing a lot of amazing things after it that aren't really necessarily related to that show. But the momentum of having that milestone achieved, the kind of understanding that people now have of you as a business person, it gives you that validation. It adds a lot of credibility. And look, you know, a side benefit of it as well is you upgrade your network. Steven Bartlett, you know, he's following me now on social media. He's giving his support. He's sending messages. He even sent us, you know, tickets on his guest list to come to his live shows. Like, that relationship wouldn't be there unless I put myself out there and pitched him on the Den. And you know, you could argue, yeah, you can reach people and here, there, and everywhere, but when you meet people on common ground and you build something together, we were on this, you know, forever now, I'll be on Steven Bartlett's first season of Dragons Den, which is something that he'll probably, even if he's on it for the next 10 years, you'll never forget your first season, right? You never forget your first client, your first deal. So for me, you meet people on their platform, you get common ground, and then you attract higher leverage people who are doing bigger things than you that can inspire you and push you along your journey as well. So go for it is 100% the advice I'd give you if you're thinking about applying on Dragons Den.